Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that we feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that we feel happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving. Na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is a show, my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect.
Morning. Wake up, Belize. Wake up physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. With a shake on this morning, Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Wake up, Belize Morning Vibes Talk Show here at XTV. Behind the zinc fence, 3304 Amandala Drive, formerly Partridge Street. I'm Sister YaYa, Marin, Coleman, sitting in for Brother Most High. We're simulcasting on Creme Radio, and we are live streaming on XTV Belize YouTube and XTV Belize Facebook. Good morning. Gonna get these showers last night. They have me feel crisp. My name mosquito to play up in my face when I bust up this morning. But give thanks. We wake up with a move and we're looking forward to a new day and having positive vibrations that we are maintain health and strength, and that the things that we set as we goals with good intentions, clean heart and clean hands, it will manifest. And if it don't manifest now, that they are manifesting in the near future. I'm going to take one deep breath and be kind and patient with one another. The usual lineup: the Belize Meteorological Service of Belize will bring the weather forecast, and I have the forecaster. Who? Michelle Augustine is the forecaster. And then we have the first XTV news brief prepared for us by XTV news staff under the leadership of Maricela Maya. Then we'll take a short break, finish drink my tea where I get early for Kim Grandma go. Thanks, Kella, for bringing me tea this morning. Thanks, Kim. And then we're going open the phone lines. We have a guest this morning at 7:30, so I better call in somebody. Don't tell me say they want to call in already. So I could kick it off. I can see what the weather stay like for the rest of the day.
Good morning. Showers and thunderstorms occurred mostly over central and southern areas overnight, with some areas in the Toledo district receiving over 3 inches of rain since midnight. This activity is expected to continue as a tropical wave is supporting moist and unstable weather conditions over the area. The forecast is for skies to be partly cloudy, becoming cloudy at times, with some showers, a few thunderstorms, and periods of rain over most areas, but especially over southern districts. High temperatures will reach only 84 Fahrenheit along the coast, 86 Fahrenheit inland, and 76 Fahrenheit up in the hills. Overnight lows will be about 80 Fahrenheit near the coast, 73 Fahrenheit inland, and 68 Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds are from the east at 10 to 20 knots, producing choppy sea conditions. However, winds can become gusty during heavy showers and thunderstorms. Therefore, operators of small craft are advised to exercise caution. We are currently experiencing a high tide, and low tide will occur at 2:31 this afternoon. The moon will rise at 3:44 this afternoon, and the sun will set at 23 minutes after 6. In the outlook, skies will become cloudy at times with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms to continue affecting most of southern and central areas on Wednesday, decreasing by Wednesday night. In the tropical weather outlook, at 3 o'clock this morning, Tropical Storm Dexter was located about 345 miles northwest of Bermuda. This system poses no threat to Belize. That concludes this morning's weather report and forecast produced at the National Meteorological Service. For more information and a more detailed forecast, you can log on to our website at nms.gov.bz.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
New banknotes featuring national heroes George Price and Philip Golson entered circulation on Monday primarily at domestic bank tellers. They have hit only some ATMs as not all have been configured as yet. While some Belizeans on social media are, as we would say, bashing the look of the banknotes, likening them to Mexican and Central American banknotes, others have welcomed the new look. As expected, posts and memes about the banknotes have overtaken social media, and many are posing with the notes. One Belizean eager to experience the new notes early Monday morning was Andrew Munnings, who documented his ATM withdrawal with his signature humor. Here is a snippet of that moment.
Leave by the Atlantic Bank ATM. And you know when you're the flirt with your girl weeks and months, you'll finally get to meet her and you feel just like that today.
Goodness gracious. Oh, no man. I'm proud of this thing, breads. Whether you don't like it or not, the part of history, bro, you look beautiful. Man. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah. This is nice.
In the case of Atlantic Bank, a representative confirmed that their ATMs are distributing both old and new banknotes, while tellers are all distributing new banknotes only. In the case of the Belize Bank, we're told that to start out the day, the new notes were only available at Sayview and San Pedro Belize Express ATMs. All other ATMs should have received them by the end of the day Monday. Some have raised a previous concern about the old notes, which the central bank has already addressed. That is, these will continue to be legal tender alongside the new notes. However, the central bank is encouraging the public to deposit the old notes at their financial institutions so they can be phased out. The central bank has also emphasized that the exchange rate will remain the same at 2 Belize dollars to 1 US dollar. Police have charged 56-year-old Jennifer Fitzgibbon for the death of 6-year-old King Shaquille Wade, the infant 2 student of Plush Street, Belize City, who drowned in a zero-visibility canal back in October 2024. Fitzgibbon was charged with manslaughter by negligence and abandonment of a child. She was granted bail in the sum of $5,000 plus 2 sureties when she appeared in court Monday morning. She's being represented by attorney Norman Rodriguez. The court has ordered that while the matter is subjudice, she is prohibited from offering babysitting services. It is believed Wade slipped and fell into the canal sometime after 2 p.m. after arriving from school while playing with other children. It would not be until later that adults would realize he was missing and a frantic search began. His body was retrieved after 6 p.m. by brave young men from the community. ACP Gilberto Romero told the media why it took so long for Fitzgibbon to be charged.
Reference a drowning incident that occurred on the 13th of October 2024. We have arrested and charged Jennifer Fitzgibbon for abandonment of a child and manslaughter by negligence.
Sir, could you speak on how is it we're here in August charging her when the incident occurred in October last year?
A thorough investigation was carried out and the file was sent to the DPP, who has now sent the directives that she be charged.
Belize has been officially approved to export shrimp to Taiwan, with 12 aquaculture facilities already being certified after undergoing comprehensive risk assessments. Exports started on July 30, 2025. The announcement was made during a recent visit of a Belizean delegation to Taiwan led by Ambassador Amalia Mai. The certification process spanned 2 years and included technical cooperation and regulatory engagement between Belize's fishing authorities and Taiwan's Food and Drug Administration. Officials from Taiwan visited Belize to carry out an in-country inspection in October 2024. According to a release from Belize's Ministry of Foreign Trade, Taiwan is a high-value shrimp market. Their annual imports averaged over $349 million between 2020 and 2024. The ministry stated, quote, "With this new market access, producers are positioned to scale up operations and unlock even greater value," end quote. The ministry also notes that despite facing many challenges in recent years, Belize's shrimp industry has remained resilient. While in Taiwan, the Belizean delegation also met with Yen and Brothers Company Limited, Taiwan's largest seafood importer, which already imports Belizean lobster. The United Democratic Party, UDP, has finalized the list of candidates for approved special caretaker conventions that are set to take place every Sunday beginning August 24 through to October 12. According to the party's 3-member nominations committee, 50 applications were properly submitted and 5 were denied. Those were from Hernan Riverol from Corazal Bay, Denny Grijalva in Orange Walk Central, Elodio Aragon Jr. for Orange Walk East, Andrew Bradley for Caribbean Shores, and Gary Mattis for Fort George. Notably, Philip Willoughby submitted 2 applications, one for Freetown and another for Port Loyola. Only his application for Freetown was accepted. John Saldivar also submitted an application to run again in Belmopan, but it was deemed improper as it did not follow the application template. In the case of Jose Oak Espat, he withdrew his application to run in Freetown. Saldivar has since said he will not contest his rejection, but will instead support Louis Willis, a former 2-term councillor. I'm thinking that's Louise Willis, a former 2-term councillor. In total, applications were open for 18 divisions, but because applicants were disqualified, and in the case of Kaya South, only 1 applicant applied, there will be endorsement conventions in 4 divisions. These are Orange Walk East, Caribbean Shores, Kaya South, and Corazal Bay. To be endorsed in those divisions are Marla Pereira, Zenobia Young, Dale Pelayo, and Omar Vasquez, respectively. Since the constituency conventions will push past the October 5 date, the Central Executive will recommend to the National Party Council that the National Convention to elect a new party leader to be held on October 30. Acting UDP Chairman Alberto August shared that some of the candidates had expressed concerns about the original schedule, and we asked why everything seems to be rushed.
All of this was occasioned by that unfortunate incident that occurred, you'll recall it, that occurred at the party headquarters on June the 14th. You remember that situation that occurred at the party? You were out there at the party headquarters on June the 14th. All of this now postponing National Convention is occasioned by that unfortunate event on June the 14th, because everything would have been set for June 14th for us to begin the process and sailing smoothly into October 5th.
How do you, as acting chairperson, view the fact that even some candidates who ran under the Shine Barrow ticket for the last general elections did not apply on this occasion, and then you have like a couple or so people who come from the PDM who are actually now on this nomination list?
You see what happened, Marisol? The objective to proceed into resetting the party in terms of going into these conventions, because it happens, it has to happen after every general elections. The party has to go into a reset because people lose. And in those instances when people lose, then there's several things that has to happen. You immediately have a National Party Council meeting. But on this occasion, we were strained to have a meeting of the National Party Council because the constitution of our party mandates or recognizes only one committee per constituency. If you're going to what was offered was forced upon the party by the Elections and Boundaries Commission, we had 39 candidates going into the election using the traditional UDP red color. And that placed the party into a precarious position, because how do you call a meeting of the National Party Council with not 31 but with 39? How you deal with the extra 8? And that had the party in some difficulties until eventually, based on legal advice, we managed to decide who were going to form the first meeting of the National Party Council subsequent to the general elections. And that was what we were going to have on June 14th when it was disrupted.
August criticized that rather than seeking out new talent to run for the party, Panton and her supporters were dissuading people from running. He also noted that they expect to have another round of conventions before the next general elections. For her part, opposition leader Honorable Tracy Panton says she still considers the process laid down by the current executive toward a national convention to be illegal and unconstitutional. She addressed why members of the party who support her choose to submit their special caretaker conventions.
It's very hard for me to participate in this process and to legitimize this process. I will tell you that there are many of my colleagues who feel very strongly that while the circumstances are not ideal, that they need to fight fire with fire, if you will, that they need to stay involved and get involved. If not, we have zero chances of trying to get the party back on its right footing. And I respect my colleagues enough to say if that is the position you wish to take, you have the right to do so. After all, the party doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the people, and they represent their constituencies. And so I have to be mindful and respectful of that position. A colleague of mine said, you can take the position you have taken because you are on the inside. You are the leader of the opposition and you have won your seat, and so you can take a principal position. But for those of us who have given our blood, sweat, and tears to this party, who have worked over years to contribute to the party's well-being, we are on the outside, and the only way we can be beneficial to this process is by making sure we stay on the inside and being part of the dialogue. I will say to you, Marisol, that many of those candidates that Shine Barrow hand-selected and put in constituencies to contest us did not apply for the caretaker conventions. No Jose Oak, no David Almendares, so it's not that even the candidates that he had hoped to apply, because I think we all recognize it has gone too far. It is completely unacceptable, untenable. People are exhausted. We are exhausted. And we need to follow the governing structure of the party that is outlined in the Constitution, and we must follow the rules of engagement that is outlined in the party rules.
Decide if she participates in the national convention after consulting with her colleagues. And that brings us to the end of this morning news brief. Immediately following Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on Creme Radio, there'll be the morning stew with additional news, updates, comments, affirmation, community reasoning from 9 to 12:30. And then at 12:30 on Creme Radio, there's a full news package. At 5:15, at 3 o'clock, there's a news brief. At 5:15, there's a full news package on Creme Radio. At 6 o'clock on XTV, there's a full news package. Stay tuned. We're going to take one short break, come back, and open up the phone line.
Informative, accurate, current information. Creme's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Oh man, one more scroll and my data is done.
Wait, who's said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data, so you can scroll till your fingers cramp. Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
Belize morning vibes. Wake up, Belizeans. That's what we time for the next 2.5 hours. The phone number to call is 280-5848, 280-5848. Yesterday I had some books to give away. I said I had 5 books. I think I gave away 6. So whoever I tell I have books for, whoever I tell I want to give them books to, I'm going to stop by Crumb Security booth for the books. But I have some more books. So if you don't want, I think I have my number there. So if you don't want the book, gonna call me or text me, 671-8050. The book I'm giving away is Peopling Belize, Chapters in Migration by St. John Robinson. And it was published in Belize. And it has ISCR, Institute of Social and Cultural Research, under the National Institute of Culture and History, the front cover. So there you go. So you could learn some more about how Belize was peopled, and the table of contents say Chapter 1, Trade with British North America. Chapter 2, The Aftermath of Revolution. Chapter 3, Colonization, Companies and Displaced Persons, Chapter 4, Germans in Belize, Chapter 5, The Chinese Experience in Belize, Chapter 6, The East Indian Community in Belize, and then you have one bibliography. So, well, you know, we have to talk this morning. Ask me what I think about the new banknotes. Actually, I asked Harlan and Christy what I think about the new banknotes. And I could totally, I'm not on Facebook, I haven't been. Somebody hold me accountable yesterday and tell me that, oh, this is something where I should really hold the state accountable for before the banknotes get printed. Because, so I tell the person, the banknotes feel like, they got money, you see? The banknotes, they feel like the money from Mexico when you go to Chetumal. The paper feel light enough. You have a different texture from the old money. And the person who hold me accountable asked me why they put one black man on the lower denomination banknote and they put one brown skinned person on the higher denomination note. I tell the person, I never noticed that. I say, more than anything for me, why two men no woman never worried for the money. None. How, and I don't remember because I'm in the study. I really know the study when I'm in the process and the person asked me, how could I know the study that as something I should have in the study? I say, I want to know where the guest from this past Sunday, Sunday review. His name is Brother Alistair Thomas. He's an iconic figure from Trinidad. Sorry, from Antigua. In Trinidad, for this African Emancipation People's Day, the state decided to remove one statue of Christopher Columbus and to rename one main street in Trinidad, I think after Kwame Ture. And he said, respect to Kwame Ture, what he's done for the liberation of people as a political leader. But he felt that those two things were symbolism. What that they do for the material life, especially of African people. So I asked when the person said to me that the person complained to me about one black man upon a lower denomination. How come I never advocate for that? No be so. So I say, you notice that no woman not upon the money. And the person said, I never made a notice that, but even more so, I ask you how you make that happen as if I could stop that. You know, religion people funny. But I get what I'm going to say. At minimum, them expect for either upon a record, considering I represent African people, racialized by people that believe, for say something about the black man upon a lower denomination note tender for Belize and that there were no women. But I just say at the end of the day, I don't know if anybody say how much it costs we, the people of Belize, for this whole process. And did we ask them for this? How come the state decided at the end of this? And for me, at the end of the day, that's symbolism. Because we have one constitution where we recognize the Governor General as the head of state whose loyalty is to the European monarch. That's why we're not independent. So I just say, bigger fish for fry. If that, not that we need for change. We need to be truly one independent nation and not all loyalty to nobody. But when you call me and tell me for no 2 cents but a new banknote. 280-5848. 280-5848. I guess this $10 the one gift. Thanks, Harlan. You can't say I'm not giving nothing. This morning we'll have a guest at 7:30. And even though one number of Belizeans recognize that August 1st is today's day 5 of United Black Association for Development Educational Foundation. It's a community-based organization behind the Zinc Fence, the consciousness-raising arm of Zinc Fence, advocating for the state to change the name of the holiday on August 1st from Emancipation Day to African People Emancipation Day, so everybody know who got emancipation, and remember emancipation is one process because we're still mentally enslaved. Good morning. Thanks for being the first caller. Talk to it.
Alright, say I like selling money and everything, but they should have put the minita gun on the thing for the first female governor general of the country. What do you think?
I don't know who I may choose, but it definitely should have been a woman. And I don't know.
She was the first governor general in this country. They should have put cheaper at least $2.
Okay, I hear you. In thinking about it, I know me want to recommend she because that's the way to talk about now. The Governor General represent the European British monarch. If we don't want independent country, that I can take off the Queen, who that the European monarch, well now thy son that the king for the European people and other colonized territories. And then if I put the Governor General, just to put the local person who represent she, if we don't want independent country, we still live with the legacy of the harm of the British enslavers, colonizers. Why we want empower money? Why? Or anybody will represent she? As an independent country, we shouldn't have no loyalty to nobody but the people of our country?
All right, then.
But I appreciate your call and tell me, what do you think of the feel of the money? Other than the image for it, what do you think of how the money look, how it feel?
I don't get the whole money yet.
Okay. You're familiar with the money, how the money feel that Chetamalo?
Yeah.
It feel the same way. So right away you feel the difference when you touch it. It feel like it could tear easy. Anyways, you like the you not see it yet? You not touch it yet?
When I get it, I will try it in the washing machine, see if it will fall up to that too.
You have problems, brother.
All right.
Thanks for the call. Have a good day. One love. Guidance. I appreciate the call. Yes, so in looking at, so you have to advocate for the name of the holiday to be changed. When the holiday was established in 2021, there were two holidays that were established. August 1st as what we're calling African People Emancipation Day, and October 12th, which was once known as Columbus Day, to Indigenous People Resistance Day. Morning, thanks for calling. We talk to you.
Greetings in the name of the Most High. Sister,
Tell me.
Cannot see with my physical eye, but I see with my mental eyes, which is developed very strong faculty. A lot of people see, but they have physical eye, but they cannot see. No. Yesterday somebody introduced some Belizean new notes as they brought some change for me from something that I needed to purchase. And immediately, as I touched the money, I could see with my mind the inferiority of the paper. Inferior quality. And this quality has been around in different countries. If you ever come across the euro dollar, that euro money is exactly the same type of inferior quality paper. Because sometimes I say this look like the play paper, like that way when call it monopoly. You know, people play that kind of bankopoly or something. They call some kind of game that like the play money, not like real money. But my opinion also is that they look for the least inferior quality product to sell it for the high price, to introduce it for the high price. And another thing, and I will wrap up, it has to be that this is international control of banknotes, because from I know myself, only one man they make the money, Delarue. Look like he's a money slave master. He slave people through money. One love, respect.
One love. Thanks for the call, brother. And I really appreciate the brother who saying he no longer has physical vision, but he has mental vision. And I've read that when people either born without all five senses activated or lose one throughout their lifetime, that the others will get more sharpened. So he come feel, and the brother called regularly and said that he traveled quite a bit, and so he come feel the texture, and even though I just said the texture different, and if I think about the point where the brother make, I think that's a valid point, that he said that inferior paper it get printed pan. And that's why I want to know how much the whole, maybe they say it in the news and I miss it, because I never got to research it to find out, how much the whole operation cost. and what part this come from. I often wonder that, how the state determine what they want to invest in time and money into as it relates to policies, projects, who want to get hired. How do you determine that? We don't have one survey we want to do with we have credibility, and we want to take the data from that for inform the actions we want to take. What part want to get genuine people participation? We do it in our cultural WEs. Then got so-called consultation, but what I mean is we just want to have one picture, one video that we come to one community or someone, we don't want to just rubber stamp it. Whether we want to rubber stamp it or not, when German don't going to throw it anyways, because we decided so what we do, because vote we in every 4 to 5 years and that. So there's a saying that says that people get the government they deserve. So we Belizean people have to start to hold ourselves accountable. And that's why every chance I get, besides actively listening to other people, I share knowledge. Because the more knowledge we have, increase the chance that when we engage in a thought, mind mapping or thinking, we have additional information, different perspectives to whatever it is we think about, have a more comprehensive, one better understanding of whatever it is, so that when we have to engage, whether by active listening or give one position on it or take one action, that would do it from a position of knowledge, not of feelings, solely feelings, or where you may hear or where you may think that so, and you think it without any accurate or additional information. So I really encourage every chance Belizean get for study, for learn. I know every human being have the capacity to learn. They might learn differently, might learn in a different ways, but that not make you less than nobody else. And so this morning we guest one be, he's originally from Grenada. I mean, not Grenada, no. I think well, Elder Goshjan, but they're not Elder Goshjan, but Elder Goshjan gave back the UK yesterday morning. This brother from Guyana. He's a scholar activist. He's a PhD, but he's not my kind of brother. I want to lead with that because they use the scholarship, the academic learning for the liberation of people within communities globally. His name is Nigel Westmass. I had on last year, the first week of his maybe I have to pay attention and I think about it. I think I host the first few days after African People's Emancipation Day last year, because I had Brother Nigel on, because Brother Nigel wrote one piece in one Guyanese online newspaper last year talking about the co-option of African People's Emancipation Day, where part the state and state actors turn a day that ought to be a day of reflection, remembrance, analysis, and a connection to the lives of African people, and then turn it into performance primarily, with an inner alignment with state values. And co-option means that one group or one individual get assimilated by one larger organization, primarily for stop them criticism, for not make them continue build political awareness, and for silence them. And one of the ways they do that is by not giving them money. And it not just happened in Guyana, it happened throughout the region. So I asked Brother Nigel for come back this morning to give one analysis of African Emancipation Day in the region. And then when I checked this morning, I see that he wrote another article, which we'll talk about it this morning, because another one of the reasons why I have mad appreciation for Brother Akomotota, who are the co-host of Sunday Review from the Twin Islands of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Because he said the need for people in the Caribbean region, or what they call the Circum-Caribbean region, where all the countries there, like Suriname and Curacao and Venezuela, we have African people, for be intentional, for review the news, for see the patterns, for see the connections, for say game what they get run pan we, and we want a lot of we in a survival mode, not to pay attention like the brother called yesterday and say like death is lurking and we don't even know, because we just to pay attention to individual or family needs, and not to look like bird's eye view upon what happened for example, in the circum-Caribbean area. So when Brother Nigel come, we flesh it out some more. But not because August 1st gone, mean that we for stop talk about, without like, other than the events, I don't know who will stop, but African emancipation, African people emancipation, and African people reparations. And remember, reparation has to do with repair. So if we know to study, if we know to ask questions, if we know to learn, if we know to understand how what happening in the past and decisions we're going to make now, don't the impact for we lives, I want continue impact for we lives and for we future children's lives, the unborn one, then we want continue suffer. Nobody know they can save black people. We have to save ourselves. And all we skin folk, they're not we kin folk. So I'd ask Belizeans, listeners, viewers, live streamers, for be intentional, for sit down maybe once a day and just reflect upon your life, your family life, the life of black people in general. And ask the questions, how we end up here? What gains we make? When we want to start to talk for we own interests, because oftentimes the political leaders or the community leaders genuinely not look after for we interests. Especially when I get them on level of conversation. For the bread and butter issue, yeah, that would be more normal. But you have to know your past. So because we don't know our past, or the one narrative we then give, we just sing that song here and we don't question it. And so I really look forward to Brother Nigel Westmas this morning for he looked upon it from the African Guyanese perspective, but especially in the English-speaking territories where the British enslaver, colonizer, settler, still there, you see the connections. We recently, on July 22nd, 1919, the labor uprising, and then I think it was 1898, the labor uprising. There's a reason why when enslaved people were no longer, remember, August 1st, 1834 was when the Abolition Act was passed to end the enslavement of people. But for compensate the enslavers, and some of them are mixed race people, meaning, for example, European and African descent. Remember, they never see people as human beings. They see them as property. Like this book, the piece of property, and you take over property from me, and this property had a value, and I want the value of my property where to take away from me. So then they said to the state, the parliament in Britain, only to take away for we property from we. Only have to pay we for this property. And so, if I'm not mistaken, I think Belize had the highest cost per enslaved person from throughout the Caribbean. I'll check it and come back and tell you tomorrow. They had the highest rate. And so, when they couldn't have full emancipation, so who me out in the field had, who me in the field had a longer time for full emancipation than the one that were never in the field. But it was called the apprenticeship program. Now this is a part people continue for work by force and not get no compensation for it. The people anyway for years live, dead, provide the labor for make what they call first world countries be first world countries now. Who for we African ancestresses and ancestors, then people benefit and continue to benefit. So they had to do that, so they had to work at longer years, terrible conditions, never get no reparations for it in no way, not money, not land, not anything. So when they, okay, they say, okay, no more shackles, no more, what you for though? Now these are years of trauma, internalized pain. What for we ancestors and ancestors for do? What you for do? One number they stay right because they stay right there. I know some people that Belize like gone up, let's say the Belize River and squat on some lands along the Belize River, but you don't have nothing. You have to make your way out. So the timber extraction that different from like say the other Caribbean countries where they have sugar exploitation, coffee, sugar, coffee. There's another one. Slipped my mind. That I mean, what they extract from the natural resources, what the Europeans they extract, that believes it was a timber extraction. So even after that, that's why Belize BEC, Belize Estate and Produce Company, I think it was called. Then I'm the largest land owners that Belize, and you had people who were still in the timber industry, because well, what you do after you don't have enslaved people anymore. So Brother Nigel, who won't come on after the 7:30 break, make the link between emancipation and an incomplete process. African people still disenfranchised. This is systemically, not just one-off make. So to a certain extent, African people have individual accountability. But when you have systems of oppressions that is uphold by the state, and that's why I say, okay, so they change the money. What I do for the conditions for the lives of black people? What I do for them? How that improve? Or all Belizeans, but at the top within August 1st, African People Emancipation Day lens, how that for equality of life. And that the having emancipation, that the what we should realize, we should be able to say one different quality of life. So African Emancipation Day, that may 187 years ago. So you subtract 1838 from 2025, you get 187 years. Let's say one generation down, 18 years. So let's say over the past 187 years, when one person get 18, they have one baby. All right, make us say 20 years. Let's say one generation at 20 years. So if you divide 187 by 20, you want to say that are like 9.5 generations ago, right? So we are like 9.5 generations. If one woman have one baby at 20, we're like 9, because it's like 9.5 because of 9.35. So 9 generations away. If you say one woman had a child, average one at 20. 9 generations away. That 187 years ago, we have a number of Belizeans right now who are alive over 100 years old. So and think we still the protest, we still the rail up, we still the haggle for minimum wage of $5 an hour. $5 Belize dollars an hour. I remember now, the capitalist system only could survive on the backs of working class people. If they never stuck at working class people, like when they had enslaved Africans, or even when they had people from India, indentured laborers, or who they barely give any money to, terrible living conditions. Nobody not suffer like African people. Nobody, or as long and continue to suffer. Nobody documented as African people. Or even the, what we call the mestizo, which would be one combination of Spaniard, European colonizer, enslaver, and indigenous people from the Americas. Even with them, let's look at the Maya, they enslaved their labor. They're still seen as human beings, but they never pay them for their labor. Whereas with African people, they never see we as human beings. That never means that we never know we're a human being. That no means that we never hold on to African spirituality, that we never hold on to African values. We did. So there was a whole conversation, and then this Sunday, past Sunday review, Hait's sister, where is she from? She might be from Jamaica. She wrote one article which is very different. I never think about it. Where she looked at Emancipation Day from a different financial perspective. And so, we don't have to tune into Sunday Review, 10:30 to noon, this Sunday, for listen to the reason between the sister, me, and Brother Akko. But important to recognize that we not free. Hear that, we are not free. Emancipation for African people, that one process, one lot of way deeply mentally enslaved. I don't know, I mean, you know, they say the physical shackles, and then there's a position that we move from like the physical enslavement to becoming what they call wage We're wage enslaved. So we put in all the hours away from our families, have health issues, not living in adequate housing, disconnected from our authentic self, not know the story of our people. For what? The money we would make, no, that's why they advocate for living wages as opposed to, that means we want to pay you the least amount of money we pay you for your work for other people get wealthy. Like the only they forgot quality of life. We should be at living wages. Living wages mean you to get value. Now that means that the people who want to work also have to provide the service, you know. Nobody no one give you a living wage and you to come to work late, you there by your phone, you eat breakfast, you have attitude with the people, you started bringing doctor paper. Come on now. Living wage mean, and also that means you ought to be working less hours, but when you come to work, you give value for the money we will get. So get a living wage where you have living in an adequate home, you have access to quality education where help you develop to the best of your ability as a human being. You have adequate health care, like you can go to the private hospital there, you don't have to pay no bag of money, but you're paying at least something, but you get the best quality care. That should be the level of service at a public hospital or clinics throughout the country. And you ought to be able to save your money, and if your family want to take on vacation, that's what a living wage should do for people. So you have adequate, you know, life not just for working till I'm dead. That's no way. That's not how African and indigenous people lived before they come in contact with European people. So it really important, Belizeans, that we start. If you do it already, share with other people. Encourage them to study, to learn. The more you learn, and you don't need no colonial papers to say you learn something, you understand something. You could apply what you learn to your lived experiences to improve your quality of life, the quality of lives of your families, and the people in your community. We have one duty to learn, and learning our way of life for the rest of your life. Will send me one picture. I shall me send it. I still got another 3 minutes. I shall me send it to Christy earlier today. Will me here have, as I know, they have PGTV, and yesterday he sent me one picture because they get one new anchor, the PGTV. I send the picture to Christy right now, and he said one number of people had things to say about one handsome melanated youth, outstanding athlete, intelligent, and then got things to say because they show up on the TV screen with the natural hair. We'll say, wanna watch XTV? Wanna say Sister YaYa? Low people for be themselves. We have a requirement for be clean. Yes. And so today is the 336 since YUB Educational Foundation have one BZE Natural Hair Law 2024 campaign holding the government of Belize, namely the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Labor, accountable for not enforcing the Constitution of Belize, which said that Belizean people have the right of cultural expression, for show up the school, for show up the workplace, any way they want, wear their hair, any way other than unclean. Anyway, that their human right. And for all the Belizeans, then this is one good example of mental enslavement, for sure that we're not fully emancipated. For the Belizeans, then we don't agree with that. That because you're mental enslavement, we don't agree with it. And that's not a blanket statement I didn't make. People have one right for express. African people, for example, hairstyle, not just one hairstyle, they're part of our identity. They have like 3 features that make you know you got African in you. The melanin in your skin will give you complexion, the curliness of your hair, and the width of your nose. They call it phenotypical African. Like when you sit in 3 traits, African there. Anyways, the 2 cents come time. It's 7:29. 2 cents come is brought to us by Fort Point Security. I hope that I'll repeat today. 2 cents come time. the technical director to tell me that something freeze in the technical director room. So that's why I not come up on the screen, even though I say we're going to break. So talk until I come off of the screen. Remember, I have the books for people who may ask for the book, Peopling Belize. It's at the Crumb Security booth, Brother Karcher and Brother Jenkins. Your book there at the security booth. The other 3 people I don't communicate with you. One other brother reached out to me